You're
All right.
live.
Welcome back to the Nobody Asked Show. Yes, another sports show nobody asked for. Guys, we don't do a good enough job at seeing how we're all doing. So how's everyone's weekend? How's everyone's weekend? The big slate, kind of a lame slate, kind of a good slate, who knows? But how's everyone doing? How's the weekend?
A pretty good weekend. Visiting a buddy out in Portland. Unfortunately, I am still hungover, and it is almost 4 o'clock here, on the West Coast on Tuesday. So if that tells you how my weekend went, gotta take the good, the bad.
Yeah, specifically, obviously being on the West Coast with the European games now strong in the schedule. Our friend that you were visiting is a Vikings fan, so how is that wake up call?
Yeah, dude, that was kind of one of those real kicks in the dick, and you got to get up for your buddies. And then walking through the middle of Portland, still a little drunk from the night before at, I think, the ripe old time. I think he woke me up at about 6:10 a.m. out here. So there was no sun up, and walking into a bar at that early was definitely an interesting experience. I will say it's a great way to kick off your Sunday. By the end of that game, I was pretty ready to rock and roll. Had a great rest this Sunday, and the vibe just kind of peeled over. We'll dive into that here a little bit later. But the vibes on
Yeah.
Sunday just continued progressively growing throughout the Sunday for myself. So
So
maybe I'm going to have to do it every weekend. I don't know.
with the European
100%.
kickoff, yeah, with the European kickoff West Coast time, all the way to the Sunday night football game for your game, which we'll touch on later. That was a full day. That was a long day.
Yeah, and then you also have we'll dive into my game, but when the game goes like that, it's not one of those ones you fall asleep right after.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I hear you.
Yeah,
You're just
your
you're
heart's
kind of
still
lying
racing.
there. You're kind of
Yeah.
lying there, just enjoying life for a little bit.
Yeah, what about you, Chuck? Anything
Thinking
good
about
this
all the
weekend?
possibilities. Yeah, I had a great weekend. Got a pumpkin with my girlfriend. His name's Jack. So that was
Ori-
probably the
Original.
highlight, I'd say.
Yeah.
Very original, very, very original. Watched some great football on Saturday and Sunday, both days. And like Evan was saying, now we have the potential to watch football your entire Sunday. Um, you know, I can really just schedule things around those different intervals. So, um, yeah, it was epic. How about yours, Boone?
Dude, I didn't do anything. It was incredible. Friday went got
The
sushi
dream.
Friday. Yeah, got sushi Friday. Saturday, I sat on the couch all day and watched football. It was incredible. So yeah, nothing to report on this side. With that though, let's go ahead and get into the slate, right? I mean, uh,
Yeah.
I'm not sure about you, but as we record this right now, I've got the first NHL game, Blackhawks versus Panthers. Then we've got playoff baseball. We've got a full slate of sports. But should we start with the categories today?
Let's do it.
All right.
Dive on in.
College football, right?
Yeah, college football, college football. Ev, who's your biggest riser this week?
So I got an interesting answer for this one, and it has nothing to really do with how they played football this week. It is going to be Oklahoma and John Mateer, who is apparently going to be back this weekend. So
Really?
talk about a huge rising moment for them when they come in, take care of business with him out. He's
Is he?
expected to miss probably a
Wait, for
month of
real?
football here, and it looks like he's going to play this weekend against Texas in the Red River rivalry. Um, so to get business handled this weekend, and while he was out over Kent State, to then have a opportunity for him to come out and play in the Red River rivalry this weekend is something where I didn't think anybody thought possible when you heard he was
Yeah,
going down for a month. And
I I had not heard this news.
yep, so that
Yeah.
came to me today, and apparently he's looking to try to play this weekend.
He's pushing.
He's
It's
pushing to
Okay.
not
play this
guaranteed.
weekend.
It's not a
Wow.
guaranteed, but it is a realistic possibility. There was something that was said. He said, "Hey, you only get the chance to play in this rivalry once, or at least he's only going to get the chance to. So he's going to give it everything he can to be ready for this weekend."
Yeah, that kind of. I mean, I was kind of banking on him being out for our game against them.
Yeah,
But
me too. That was a real kick
uh,
in the dick.
yeah, but maybe he gets re-injured. No, I'm just kidding. We obviously don't want to see that. I am like outside of not wanting him to play against the Gamecocks. I am kind of pumped that he's like that's good for college football that there's a guy who wants to play
Oh,
in this
huge,
rivalry. It's just like that. You
huge.
you can't not love that, especially the way
And
he
for the
started the
quarterback
season.
play.
Yeah,
And a little bit of little bit of foreshadowing. It's probably good. At least there's going to be one good quarterback in the field this weekend. So for that game, after what I saw earlier in the weekend.
We'll get to them. We'll get to them.
Yeah.
Chuck,
But
who's your biggest riser?
I'm gonna go with a guy by the name of Eli Heidenreich.
Oh,
Plays for
yes.
Navy.
Yes, yes.
This past week,
ooh, okay.
a box score comes back for him with 8 catches for 243 yards, 3 touchdowns against Air Force. A hell of a game. I think that's probably like 40 yards. My math is horrible, but probably like 40 yards per catch.
Yep.
There, probably maybe even more. I don't really know how he pulled it off, but yeah, pretty awesome game as well. 243 yards, insane.
That's wild. That's wild. Yeah, that guy was going crazy. What's up?
Especially playing for Navy too. Like that's a great stat line for any school in the
Yeah,
country. A guy on
Yeah,
Navy. I mean, listen, I
yeah,
know Navy's been passing the ball more the last couple of years. All three, military academies have been. But you'd say that stat 5, 6 years ago. It's like at a Navy, it's even more impressive. So, but yeah, I saw that too. I did not see him play. I did catch the highlights though.
I don't think anybody's breaking that record anytime soon. It's a good point.
Boone, what about you?
Yeah, take us home.
Um, dude, this is a game that I had a lot of interest on, and we'll touch on it a couple different times, I'm sure. Um, maybe I'm just late to the party. I've heard this guy's name a couple different times. I've watched some of the games a couple different times, but Malachi Tony on Miami was just like I could
Yeah,
not stop watching that guy play football. He was incredible. It was like even when I would look away from that because I had the quad box going, obviously. Even when I would look to a different corner of the quad box, but I had that one on volume. It was just Malachi Tony, Malachi Tony, Malachi Tony. I mean, 7 catches, 107, 2 touchdowns in a huge rivalry, huge road game. Took a stranglehold on the ACC. But that guy, I mean, he's a perfect Miami explosive kind of player. It was awesome.
yeah. He kind of reminds me of like when Ryan Williams broke out last year.
Yeah,
He's everywhere. There was that one play where I think that they got called back for a flag, but they threw it outside on a flat, like 10-yard throw, and he just took it to the house. But that's a that's a great riser.
yeah, yeah.
Very justified one.
I had a secondary one too, and this team is here. Texas Tech continues to just impress me. Going into a Houston team that was, I think, also undefeated. With Wegman, a guy who used to be in the SEC, still played really well this season. Texas Tech is I'm 100% bought in. They are real and they are deep and they're fun to watch. I'm bought in on Texas Tech. Those are a good call, Ev.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I think they're starting to get a stranglehold in that Big 12 too right now.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
just look far and away as the best team week in, week out coming out of the Big 12. Now, the one thing I will say about that though is some Big 12 teams just seem like once you get into conference play, sometimes beat up all each other. Like so there's going to get those
yeah.
big scoring games. But right now I haven't seen that, so I'm not
What
going to
if?
say they're a lock quite yet. But I'm
Yeah.
feeling very very good about that pick.
So two things there. I think Texas Tech is now even money on the sports books to win the Big 12. But what if that Big 12 kind of chaos we've all come to expect? Like what if that's now the SEC? Like there's no clear like Texas Tech feels pretty clear to me at this point of the season as the Big 12's front runner. Who would you say in the SEC? Like I know I posed this the other day, but like is the SEC now this year's Big 12 just with how deep and not very top heavy it is? I don't know.
Yeah,
Definitely feels like less of a top of a year. Yeah.
I don't know. With that being said, I am starting to lean towards Alabama again. In that,
Yeah,
I'll come out and say that now. I'm definitely starting to catch that vibe. But yeah, I don't know. I don't
Two
know. Like I
two
can't give you an
very
answer,
good
but if you
wins.
gun to my head, I'm picking Alabama right now.
yeah. I know. Since you brought up
Yeah,
Alabama,
Bama or Georgia.
since you brought up Bama, I will say hand up. I think this time last week, I came out and said, Ty Simpson, it was a good win, but I got to see more. Ty Simpson is awesome. That guy is.
Yeah,
If he
he
has time,
looks.
he's just so calm.
Yeah, and I think probably some growing pains like with that FSU game being his first real start. I feel like
Hmm.
Yeah.
I did have a secondary riser as well,
Yeah.
and that is back from the dead, Nico
Yeah.
Vavayeva from
Cute song from Lilo and
UCLA.
Stitch. Yeah. Um, great
Yeah,
riser.
posted 17 and 24 passing for 166 yards and 2 touchdowns, 150 yards on the ground and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Had an absolute hell of a game. And obviously we'll get into it into a bit, but I mean, for a guy who was kind of down and out, sent to UCLA to die, what a win and what a game.
Yeah.
So I want to
Go
jump
ahead. Go
into
ahead.
my what are you doing moment of the week, and that's actually just gonna be Penn State.
So
I just don't like.
while,
Listen,
while you're here, let's go ahead and get mine in there too, because I also wrote down just Penn State. So go ahead, take the floor.
yeah, like it's one of those hangover losses. It's a hungover loss. Like they just didn't like. Listen, all the credit in the world to Nico. He stepped up in the moment, made the most of his opportunities in that game, and there were a lot of them. There were a whole shit ton, a lot of them. But Penn State just didn't look like they came out ready to play that football game at all. I think James Franklin maybe have heard. Starting to hear those birds talking.
Yeah.
Hear those birds talking. Can he just not handle Penn State? And he just didn't have the boys ready to play at all. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you UCL is a good football team. They're disgustingly bad. One win doesn't change that. Maybe Nico plays better and that rallies them. But Penn State, what are you doing?
Yeah, I'm trying to find.
In a top-heavy Big Ten conference where you can't have that loss there. You cannot have that loss if you're looking to make a run in the college football playoff this season.
Yeah, it's a huge one. I also had James Franklin has got to go.
Yeah.
As one of my big takeaways.
Yeah.
I feel like that if you're gonna be the guy who goes 4-21 against top 10 opponents, you can't be the guy to also lose to UCLA's of the world. You can't be both. Like,
Yeah.
and after this season, even if they make the playoffs, I feel like he's got to get out of there
Dude,
if they want to be serious about winning.
Yeah, I agree. I think it was the first time since like the 70s or 80s that top 10 ranked team lost to a winless team or something. I literally sent y'all that morning, Saturday morning, I heard the stat that UCLA has not led a single game all year. And then at halftime they have a 20-point lead. Like how is that even possible against this defense that is supposed to be awesome? This like all the pieces come into place. And when I watch the Penn State games, there's just none of it looks good. It just all looks so bad.
100%.
Yeah, but
I feel like Drew Aller. Yeah, I feel like Drew Aller has like flashes of talent, but ultimately, I just feel like when he is game planning and when he's just like driving the offense, you're right. It just looks bad. I can't really put my thumb on it. It just never looks like it's firing on all cylinders.
Who is
100%.
who is the coach? Jerry Neuheisel. Is that the guy's name? The UCLA coach? Yeah, Jerry Neuheisel. So the interim coach that came in because they just fired their coach, he admitted after the game that he at one point or at several points forgot to pull down the thing to call in plays because he was so nervous being out there. He's a UCLA fan, like born and bred, played quarterback
That's
there.
awesome.
Like he's a huge fan. And he admitted in the interviews, apparently, he's like, yeah, I was so nervous, I kept forgetting to pull the thing down and press the button. So I was just talking to myself. So that guy,
What a story.
Yeah. But huge win for UCLA.
Incredible.
I mean, Nico looked good. Like, that's the Nico that people have. I mean, if he can play like that, but I mean, I know it's a big if, but, yeah, Charlie, do you have anything different for your what are you doing moment, or should we just move on from that?
Yeah, I actually did. I mean, Penn State was definitely a takeaway for me, but for my "What are you doing" moment, it's Bill Belichick and the UNC Tar Heels. I did say that Clemson would be one of my best bets. I should have gone with that with the parlay instead of Texas. But we'll get to that
Wouldn't have
later.
been allowed in the parlay. Would not have been allowed in the parlay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, right. Exactly. Fair enough. Would not have been allowed in the parlay, but Bill Belichick and the stories about the Tar Heels down 28-3 with 4 minutes to go in the first quarter. what is going on over there? I saw a highlight of a guy like completely wide open, just catches the ball like blatantly out of bounds when he had the whole field to go. I I feel like it's just been a failed experiment from the get-go. Um, what do you guys think? Like, what do you,
Yeah, I
is
mean,
it the
Um,
Tar
Bill.
Heels? Do we really
No,
care? Like,
I no, I. So I don't care because I don't like the Tar Heels regardless. But it's a Bill Belichick. What are you doing? Like he doesn't need to be. He doesn't need the money. He doesn't need to do this. Like what is
yeah,
Bill? Just like get out. No one will think any less of you if you just get out.
right, right.
But
Go be an
he's doing
offensive
so
coordinator or something.
his son was doing
he was
so
doing
well at
so much
Washington.
better. I mean, Bill Belichick, he was actually a pretty funny announcer when he was doing the media bits last year or so.
Yeah,
Like, he was good there. There was just no need to do this.
and media pays. Media pays well.
Yeah, like,
Yeah,
look what Saban's doing. Look what Saban's doing. Saban had the right
Yeah,
mindset. Just stick with that. Like, you already had one of the most illustrious careers in NFL history. Now, I mean, hey, it's really looking like Tom Brady might have been a little bit bigger
this.
part of that than we might
Yeah,
so have thought. But
hmm
I mean, just call it quits after this year. If he stays more than 2 years, like just stop. It's
yeah,
yeah. Like,
bad.
what are we really trying to prove?
Yeah, it, it it sucks to see being someone that grew up watching him and he brought me so much happiness. But it's time to pull the plug on that one and just move on.
yeah. I agree. I agree. And like I said, I feel bad for Steve because Steve had a nice little gig out in Washington, which I'll go ahead and jump into my best game because that Washington Maryland game was awesome. What a comeback in that game! I think it was 24 unanswered points, 21 in the fourth quarter. Um, as a Washington better that day and had 3.5, that was super appreciated. But Washington continues to look good. Maryland continues to look good too. I mean, Maryland's got to be kicking themselves for letting that one get away. But what an entertaining game. Did y'all catch any of this one?
Minimal. I did go back and watch the highlights
Saw the
yesterday
fourth
evening,
quarter highlights. Yeah,
but I definitely was not watching this game. It was one of those games where I saw the score at some point and was like, "Holy shit! How did they come back and win that football game?"
Yeah,
So I was just intrigued in what I missed, but no, I was not locked into that game by any means.
yeah. I watched the first quarter and then like halfway through the third and fourth because again, I had Washington minus 3.5. So when they started getting smoked, I was just like, all right, there's better games, but what a comeback! And then I did have one other game, but I'll save it and let y'all go first just in case we touch on it. Chuck, what was your best game?
My best game of the week was Louisville versus Virginia.
That was
Said
my other
this would
one.
be kind of a way I wanted to keep an eye on last week. Said Virginia was also going to be my dog, and they kept it close all game. Virginia just gets in shootouts, and
Yeah,
when they get in shootouts, their offense shines, I feel like. But man, what a win! Went to overtime. I think Virginia were kind of hanging on by a thread in the fourth quarter, and I think exactly what you said earlier. One where Louisville is going to feel like they kind of let this one slip away a little bit,
yeah.
being at home, and with the chance to go 5-0. But what a game, Evan!
So I'm gonna hit my last two topics here on this one. My best game was the Virginia Louisville game as well. Caught quite a bit of that, and
Wait,
as I mentioned,
Ed,
I was out visiting a buddy.
before you move on from Virginia Louisville, let me just read off some quick things. Um, Total yards, Louisville 383. Or I'll just show the people. I'll just show the people. It'll be easier. Um, Look at the breakdown of total yards that Louisville to are y'all seeing this now? Okay, here we go. Just look at these numbers and tell me how Virginia came back to win this game.
Yeah, just score when it mattered.
It was these two right here. Louisville had two
Yeah,
horrible
that was the number I
turnovers.
was about to dive into. Make sure I had
Yeah,
everything
Yeah,
else.
yeah. Louisville
Um,
had two horrible turnovers in big situations, and that cost them the game.
and Virginia scored off of them.
Yeah. I just wanted to mention that. Evan, go ahead.
Yeah, so listen, this is gonna be a different take than the best game of just good watching football game. It was a really entertaining game, but it was kind of a really sloppy game, and it was Texas Florida for me. So like I
Yeah,
mentioned, I was out in Portland watching this game, and my buddy had not been to this bar we went to. We walk into this bar, it's dead empty. It's early. It's early on Saturday morning. We go in. I've never seen a bar like this. It had legitimate stadium seating all around the bar. with like 6 big TVs all in the center of the place. So you go sit with your buddies on basically like a bench seating, and then just the whole place is in like a U basically of just stadium seating. So just a great experience to begin with. We go
That's
in, watch a couple
cool.
games.
That's so
It was
cool,
awesome.
actually.
It's one of the coolest sports bars I've ever been to
Yeah,
from a pure
it's
setup
unique.
standpoint. So one, we're already vibing, having a great time,
Yeah.
and so we're sitting here. We have money on Texas, and the girls. So we start to get loud at points in this game. We don't realize it. There's like a little divider in between 2 sections. The whole other section is just a group of Florida girls, just kind of like as the drinks start flowing,
Yeah.
like, we start talking, and then like we're just kind of going back and forth, just kind of joking around, like, and just sitting there watching the game with them. And how comical it was throughout the game where like Texas was never completely out of it. Arch had so many chances to actually
Yeah.
be the Arch Manning everyone talks about and come back and win that game. Because Florida tried losing the game multiple different ways.
Yeah.
And then my takeaway is Arch Manning fucking sucks. I'm out on Arch Manning. I'm selling all my stock in Arch Manning,
Yeah.
at least until next season.
Yeah. I
But
agree.
it was a really fun game watching experience. Like it was a game that was ugly for the most part, but never was dead. It was never dead, and that's kind of the worst game as a gambler. I'm like, I was doing all mine, like the math in my head. Oh, if that
Yeah.
happens and this happens, oh wait, we're not completely dead here. And I should have known it was just completely dead. But it was just a real
Yeah.
fun experience. Wanted to watch the game, so that's why I'm giving it my best game.
That sounds. First off, that stadium seating sounds awesome. Like I'd love to see what that bar looked like, or yeah, that spot looked like. I did go against the pod here and take Florida with the points. I still had obviously Texas in the parlay. This just felt like to me, and I mentioned it on last week's show. It just felt to me like a game that Florida wins. I don't think the Texas is very good. I think their defense is starting to get fed up with their offense a little bit. And
100%.
it was just a home team advantage thing. I don't know that I expected Florida to win outright, but yeah, Texas got 2 losses. I'll get to them in a second. But Texas, yeah, they don't look
And
good
well,
either.
And their defense just has to be exhausted going out there and
Yeah.
playing. Arch just can't give them a break at all. Like I'd be furious as well. I mean,
That's
it's
what I'm
kind
saying.
of
I feel like they're
early
just getting
season
fed
South
up.
Carolina. Yeah.
I think one thing that stood out to me was obviously like you had the missed passes from Arch and just the general just like running for his life, but the amount of false starts
Yeah.
that team had, I mean, it was like every single drive they had about 2 false starts. Part of me was just like I saw numerous people saying how loud it was in the swamp for
Yeah.
that game.
The Swamp gets
So I'm
loud.
sure
The
that
Swamp
played a
gets loud.
factor,
That's a
but
good stadium.
Swamp's a
yeah, but
tough
holy
atmosphere.
cow,
Yeah.
did they have a lot of flag. I think it was like 13 false
Yeah.
starts by the end of the game or something like that.
It's just they're just not a well led bunch. They're not a well led team. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I do think we need to give DJ his flowers though, because man, he looked good.
But DJ is one of those guys who can look good. He can look terrible. He can be hurt. Look, there's a good player in there. It's just like it's probably a Napier problem. It's probably just that simple. I don't know. Is it crazy to compare these 2 teams, this Texas team and like the Zach Wilson Jets teams, where this defense is just awesome. They're keeping the teams in it, and then towards the like early October, November, the defense is just like, we're over this, man. We're over this shit.
Yeah,
It's just like 2
I
completely
definitely
different
felt
units.
yep, I felt like Texas was getting bullied a little bit
Yeah.
this game where I didn't really see that before.
Y'all want to move on takeaways?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that was my takeaway too. It's just Arch sucks.
Okay.
So that's kind of wrapped
Gotcha.
up there. Dove right into that.
I hear you.
What do you got for us on a takeaway from the week?
So I'm going to just read a couple teams. Georgia Tech, UVA, Vandy, Memphis, and Indiana. I'm going to read you another list of teams. Clemson, Texas, Penn State, Nebraska, Washington. One of those groups is ranked and the other group is not ranked. Like
Yeah,
I'm not gonna
NIL baby.
I'm not gonna get out here and say that like we're in the middle of a paradigm shift in college football, because brands do win out at the end of the day, because they're the ones that have the biggest ultimately the biggest NIL pool is the brands. But we're currently sitting here in about to be the second game weeks in October, and Georgia Tech, UVA, Vandy, Memphis, and Indiana, which again, Indiana, I know they are now more household, but last year this was crazy that they were ranked. So they're still new in this But those teams are all ranked in the likes of Clemson, Texas, Penn State, Nebraska, Washington. All not ranked, all preseason ranked. I believe that's correct.
It's been a crazy year of football. I mean,
it has.
We
Penn State, Texas, and Clemson were all in the top 5 preseason.
And we've touched on it too, I think, on previous shows of just how bad some of the preseason predictions were. Looking at some of the best quarterbacks, the Klubniks of the world, the Drew Allers, and listen, I'm going to throw them a little bit under the. Yeah, listen, if we're going to call him out, listen, I'm going to call out our guy too, Lenore Sellers. The flashes have been there, but he hasn't fully been there. I think that changes this week. We'll dive into that, on Thursday. So I'm not out on him yet, but it's kind of the same point in Nussmeier. It hasn't been there. The DJ Lagway is another great example where everyone is so high on him. He's been incredibly hit or miss. Yeah. The list is endless on the preseason quarterback predictions.
Yeah.
What's Mendoza now going to go top right now? Still
right
that?
Now, let's take a look at Tankathon. I think Mendoza is ranked higher on Tankathon, but I think Sellers is still the number 1 quarterback.
Okay. I mean, Mateer has to.
Fernando Mendoza was there until Fernando Mendoza to the New York Jets is the updated mock draft.
Please just don't let the North Sellers go to the New York Jets.
Sellers 15th to the Rams. That would be unbelievable to watch him in a McVay system.
That might be a rookie quarterback winning a Super Bowl.
That would be incredible. All right, sorry, we can go on tangent there. That would be sweet, but.
But Boo, do you want to conclude that take a little bit more, or do you want to pass off to Charlie to wrap us up here?
No, that's it. I was scrolling through the top 25 today, and I was looking, and I was like, holy shit! Some of the teams, some of the names. On its side. Yeah, some of the names Clemson has 3 losses. Texas and Penn State both have 2 losses, and Penn State has to play Indiana. They have to play Ohio State. Texas, I think they have to play Tennessee. Maybe I don't know. They have to play Oklahoma this week. And then Clemson, I think, has Miami and Florida State. Maybe, I'm not sure. But, yeah, that's all. Chuck, what's your takeaway?
My takeaway from this past week is just really, the dichotomy between the Texas-Florida game and the Miami-FSU game. And I felt like picking Texas last week, that was a spot where Texas is just a better team. They're going to roll in there. They're going to take care of business because they're just a better team. And I thought that the FSU and Miami game was a spot where Miami could come in, some home field advantage, could take some play, and, they really catch them kind of in that spot. And I could not have been more wrong about the two. Texas just came in, completely just looked weak versus Florida. We talked about it quite enough. But Miami rolled in there, and they were just absolutely flying. I mean, Carson Beck threw 4 or 5 touchdowns or something like that. And FSU had a late charge, but let's be honest, they were never really, in that game, it kind of felt like. So that was just a spot where, just kind of got those 2 games flipped, I felt like. So that was my big takeaway from what I felt like were the 2 biggest games of last week.
Yeah, that Miami-Florida State scoreline does not tell the story of that game. Miami absolutely dominated that game. Miami is legit. Miami is legit as it gets.
I think that's I'm sure we'll touch on it a little bit later in the gambling corner here, but
yeah,
that's another take. I'm going to need to walk back a little bit. Carson Beck is officially 1,000% back.
Yeah.
So that's a hand up. I called it last week. I said, I don't think that's true. Maybe I got ahead of myself. I was not ahead of myself. I should have just rode that out. But yeah.
So how PFT always comes up with the things like the Halaban and the Stroud boys and stuff like that. Would you call yourself a Uzbekistan? Uzbekistan.
That's awful.
I mean, it's such an awful country. Because of that, the fact that you just said that, now I might have to walk back my take from 3 seconds ago.
Yeah. Use not a Uzbekistan.
I don't know. Yeah. Just uh-oh.
Oh, man. Sorry, Charlie. What were you about to say?
That's so bad. I think you might have just jinxed him. I think we might be able to look back 3 months and be like, hey, when did it all fall apart for Carson Beck? He got called Uzbekistan on a podcast.
Who does Miami have next week? Is this a money line must bet? Oh, they've got Louisville. They've got Louisville,
Oh,
moneyline Louisville. Louisville's in that
Yeah,
spot. Using Uzbekistan.
oh,
Yes, I'm telling you.
in
oh man.
Miami.
Louisville on the 17th in
Is it in?
Miami. Yeah, it's in Miami.
Okay. Wait. It's 2 weeks from now.
No, it's. Oh, yeah, it's 10 days from now. They must have a bye week. Damn it,
Okay.
that's going to take this away. He's going to fly
That
that
might
game.
that might save Uzbekistan.
Yeah, that might save Uzbekistan for sure. Uh,
They got 10
uh,
days to prepare.
yeah, yeah. How is he ever going to recover? It's like that meme with or
Yeah.
the Wild Joe or whatever his name was from the Tiger Show.
Yeah.
Exotic Joe. There we go. Chuck, did you have something else you wanted to add there? Sorry.
No, just that Alabama are very for real. And I think what Evan said earlier is very
Yeah,
true. And lying the week before, because man, I mean they could like they looked like a team last week for the first time that could win a national championship to me.
yeah,
Yeah.
I hear you.
100%.
There's two other games I want to touch on before we go on to the
That's it.
NFL. I don't know if there's anything
That's
else
all I
you'll
got.
add.
No,
Did
that's
any of
good
y'all
for me.
watch?
Let's hear what
Did
you
any of
got.
y'all watch Mississippi State versus A&M?
I got 0 seconds of that game live. 0 seconds,
It
unfortunately.
was another good game. That one probably reflects the scoreline a little bit more accurately, but Mississippi State was in it. They just couldn't score. It felt like they were only getting field goals. Obviously, the box score shows that, but they were making some plays, could never get it. Fluff Bothwell, bad injury. Hope the best for him. I never followed up to see what it was, but he's been electric so far. A&M's a good team. We'll see. I think that who do they have next week? I don't know. We'll talk about it on the Thursday show, but A&M's one to watch for sure. They're a good team. Their defense is legit. And then the other game, did y'all watch any of Iowa State, Cincinnati?
Oh my
Yeah, I
God.
did
Fuck
catch some
me
of
in the
that.
ass.
That one hurt. Cincinnati
I
was wrecking.
I was a Cincinnati
Oh,
stan on that one, and Cincinnati almost fucked themselves in the very end with all those penalties. They had like a ton of huge plays that they just kept false starts, holdings, everything.
Yeah, they
That was
started
a
hot. That's the thing. Cincinnati
yeah, they
started very
did.
hot.
That's the
that
Big
was
12
another
that we're
game.
used to seeing though.
And
Yeah,
that's a game a lot like Texas, Florida, where I just never felt like Iowa State was completely out of it either, from a
Yeah,
gambling perspective. Even though they were
yeah,
getting outplayed most of the football game, like for whatever reasons, like oh, I feel like they could just flip a switch here and everything's gonna happen. But I mean, Cincinnati moved the ball all over them most of that game, and like you
yeah,
said, it kind of shot themselves in the foot to end drives and keep it as close as it was.
yeah. That's all I got for college football. Y'all want to talk NFL?
Same. Yeah, I had a great
let's do
NFL weekend.
Yeah. Um, I'm gonna.
it.
You did have a great weekend, didn't you, Ev? Let's start with you, Chuck. Who was your most impressive performance?
Yeah, most impressive performance. I've got two, but we're gonna go with one. I'm gonna take it back actually to Thursday night, right before we were recording last week, and go with the Niners beating the Rams. Just didn't think there was a better performance than that. I mean, like the Niners were basically playing with their second team out there, and the Rams were coming off a very hot week, which they felt like they were one of the best teams in the NFL to me.
Yeah,
And I can't emphasize enough, like the Niners were just completely banged up. And Mac Jones put on an absolute clinic. I thought he got his knee ripped in half at one point, and then he was just out there the very next drive. I think he had like,
yeah,
I saw 11 bananas were eaten or something crazy like that. I
dude.
don't know
Yeah,
how they were
I've
tracking that,
I've
but
never seen anybody go
crazy
down.
performance.
I've never seen anybody go down like that for a cramp. Like gutsy performance, Mac Jones, I guess. But like people are praising this man for muscling over a cramp. I get cramps are tough, but he went down like he just got like his knee exploded. Like, dude, figure
Yeah,
it out.
I really thought he
It was
did.
a cat. I thought his
And
knee
then,
exploded.
no, I did too. But then the defensive play to get a fumble on the one for Blake
Yeah,
Corum. I mean, what are you
yeah,
thinking? Not covering up there, but still, hell of a play. Like I can't even lie
yeah,
to think to even do that, and then to go on and win that game. Like the Niners, just I don't know how they won that. So that's why they were my most
yeah.
impressive performance.
Go ahead, Ev. Take your
Yeah,
victory
hey,
lap.
the Mac attack, the Mac attack's back. Maybe that Mac Jones is a situation where Bill Belichick might have rubbed off on him or a little too wrong. I don't know. Maybe we need to walk that back. I thought he handled the win very well. And it looked like a 49ers team that was just ready to play football, ride around Mac Jones. And I will, again, put my hand up and say you're welcome for saving the Survivor Parlay, potentially, the Survivor Pool, just by
Yeah.
shooting down the Rams pick pretty quickly on the show last
Yeah.
Thursday.
No,
You do deserve credit.
You do deserve credit for that because I was totally ready to take the Rams. I just didn't see how they
Yep,
could.
same.
Mac Jones is 3-0 and he hasn't looked impressive in any of the games I felt. Maybe the first one, but the last two he's not looked impressive to me. But he's
had
winning.
his moments of looking really impressive.
He
hasn't
has,
put
and
together a
he's
whole 60 minutes
Yeah,
drives, especially to start the game. He's looked real well. But yeah,
yeah,
I get where you were coming from. I do get where you were
Yeah.
coming from.
Even the Niners defense was banged up, and like somehow they stopped the Rams like a 4th and 1. It's just a weird finish to the game.
yeah. I hear you. Ev, what was your most impressive performance?
So I'm not going to go with my obvious one. I'll get that. I'll just talk about that here in a second. But I'm going to go ahead and give it to Bo Nix and the Broncos.
Yeah,
And I'm going to dive into this game a little bit more here on the gambling corner. What a performance. I actually hand up accountability on this one. I was watching this game live. We were going to play golf. I'm like, all right, well, this game's fucking dead. We had money on the Broncos, celebrating our Vikings winnings. And we get up to leave, don't bring it on. We brought TVs to watch when we're playing golf.
yeah.
But
They're called phones.
We
They're
didn't
called
watch in
phones.
the car right over there. Yeah. Well, we had an iPad too, iPad phone. Don't
Okay.
worry, we had it figured out.
Yeah.
And we get in the car and we get to the, it's probably 35, 40 minutes by the time we get to the golf course and are, sitting back down, checking back into football. And we look at the phone and it's like, what a comeback. And then I went back
Yeah.
and watched the highlights. And what a game from the Broncos against the team that's been kind of the most dominant team in the NFL so far, has won
Probably.
some questionable games. But they didn't get down, and they came all the way back to win that football game, especially when the Broncos hadn't looked super great in some previous weeks, but had been trending in the right direction. And to really take that trend that they were going and continue with it, even though starting the game pretty slow, it was just a really, really gutsy performance in my mind.
Yeah. The Broncos played extremely well. The defense looked good. Nick Benito's an absolute monster. The
He
DN
doesn't get the props he deserves.
No, he doesn't, because people are just so focused on. I mean, Myles Garrett, don't get me wrong, is having a great season as well, but like people just focus on names a lot of times. But yeah, Nick Benito's been awesome. That was a good game to watch because I also had money on the Broncos as well. That was big.
Yeah, they were my dog last week. Just got to call that out. But
Yeah, I think we haven't done. I
what's
haven't
his
done the
face?
math yet, but I
Patrick-
do think you had a good showing.
Pat Surtain, man,
He's awesome.
he's a baller. I will say, gutsy call going for 2
Yeah,
at the end. Like I
I
know
love that.
they got a field goal after that, but
Yeah,
didn't even need the field goal because
Yeah.
I mean, heck of a call to pull that off.
yeah. I love the two. It's like 7 minutes left, 2-point conversion.
Yeah.
It was incredible.
Ridiculous.
I hate to ruin the flow here, but there's something that we totally missed to kick off this the NFL section with, and it's the Joe Flacco news. Did y'all see that Joe Flacco is now in stripes?
Oh yeah.
I did not
Could it
see
be-
that.
Could it be a
Yes.
Super Bowl?
Yes.
Another Super Bowl loading.
Joe Flacco is going to his third team in the AFC North.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Somebody had sent me a meme this morning. It was literally Bengals looking at their quarterback options, and it just Jameis Winston was just looking at him like looking all stupid. And then come to find out same day, Browns quarterback of old. But yeah, Joe Flacco is on his way to Cincy, and the Dylan Gabriel era has officially begun in Cleveland. How did we had to touch on Joe Flacco to start off the NFL stuff. My bad.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad I got the news now, dude. Breaking on air for me, at least. Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Jamar and T. Higgins owners are
Dude.
rejoicing.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, the offensive line's still bad. Like,
They are, but I feel like Browning was pretty atrocious.
Browning's bad.
Joe
Browning's
Flacco will at
bad.
least get rid of the ball in like 2 seconds and just
Browning stinks.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention that. My most impressive performance, because I wanted to save it for last, because I think it'll lead into Evan's piece, but it was Stefan Diggs and Drake May. They were incredible. Stefan Diggs did everything except for get us a touchdown to cash the parlay. We'll touch on that in the gambling
And
corner.
dude,
He deserved it several different times, but
three times.
he would get so close, and then it was like obviously a Ramondre like it's just script. Like he would get down to like the 3 or 4 yard line. So that was a shame. Again, we'll get to that in the gambling corner. What a performance from Stefan Diggs. What do you have? 6 yards on like 10 catches or something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Insane.
But no touchdown.
Drake
Back
May
in Buffalo,
was ridiculous.
no undefeated teams after this week either. No undefeated teams are left. The Eagles and the Bills, I think, were the last two. So we do have, I think, just one winless team so far. Yeah, just one winless team left, and no undefeateds. But yeah, just incredible performance by both those guys. Drake May looks legit. I mean, all the Jaden Daniels hand wringing that's been done. There's a realistic conversation for who the better quarterback is right now at the point. Drake May, I think, has as much of a chance as Jaden does for the best quarterback from that class at this moment right now. Obviously, what Jaden did last year was incredible. But Ev, take the floor. Go ahead and talk on your Patriots.
I mean, we talked a little bit about this last week. I was very high on the Patriots, coming off the loss to the Panthers. I was not this high. I expected a big game from Stefan Diggs. I did get one. Did I expect to be this good? Absolutely not. But I think just top to bottom, they played a really good football game. Listen, I'm not going to say the Bills played their best game. They didn't. They made mistakes. But I don't think they played that bad of a game either. I think it was just a very good Patriots win. Still things to work on. And Drake May just seems to be getting better and better every game. I said, I thought what was going to happen, Josh Allen, his cape was going to be a little bit too big to win this game. I think Drake May's cape was just way too big to lose this game. I mean, some of the throws he was making, like, he'd been a really, really good game manager for most of this year. He'd made some mistakes and put us in positions to win football games. I think this was the first time he really took over a game and made every play that you had to make to win the game. Like, there's some plays in the sidelines I was like, is the wrong quarterback our quarterback right now? Like, what's going on? Did they switch jerseys? And he really, really was impressive. And it's a tough spot for me to be in right now because, again, like, I think the team's good. I really do. I think there's a chance to make the playoffs maybe back in now. They have a pretty easy schedule coming up. But I don't want to get too high on this team right now because there's definitely a few pieces away from being a championship team. So I got to hold myself back a little bit and just acknowledge you played a really, really good football game this week. I cannot expect that every weekend. I can't. At least not yet. Maybe I'm wrong, but we'll see. It was just a really, really fun football game to watch, but I had to be careful at the end of that football game. Hey, listen, let's tone it down and make sure we just get the win before I start celebrating too much. But it was a great day, great game. The team in general just looked really, really well. Even though Stefan Diggs still had a big game, I really like the way Drake May still continues just to spread the ball around. Hunter Henry continues to look amazing. And just the team really looks like it's rallying around the young offense. The offensive line looks good. Will Campbell continues to be impressive. And it looks like they're, Ramondre Stevenson, apart from the fumbling issues, which I'm still very concerned about, the receivers are blocking really well downfield and helping spring each other. So that's crucial. And it seems like a very unselfish team right now. But yeah, they're the Patriots.
They're 2 losses as well. Like the Steelers one, we talked about the fumbles. They gave that to them a little in a lot of ways. And then the Raiders. I mean, the Raiders back to week
First
1.
game of the season.
Yeah, this team could have been 5-0 right now. At least 4-1. At least 4-1.
We play the Raiders right now. We whoop up on them.
We'll get to the Raiders. Don't worry about that. We'll get to the Raiders.
Their schedule is very nice. I will say I love this arc for Stefan Diggs. It's now one that I really expected, but it's exciting to see like the spot that he's in. Yeah. And then another thing I just want to call out because the Patriots looked incredible. I think we'd all agree there.
Yeah.
Thought Josh Allen looked very poor for how we know he can play. Just got out of the pocket too early a couple times, I felt like, and just was, forcing things a little bit. There's a few clips I saw where, like, if he would have just sat in the pocket for 2 more seconds, a guy would have been wide open. but also gotta credit that Patriots secondary, Christian Gonzalez. I feel like they were everywhere versus a good Bills receiving core, and yeah, but Josh Allen just kind of threw me off a little bit last night.
Yeah, I mean, the Christian Gonzalez point something I probably should have touched on too. Since he's come back, the secondary looks like a completely different unit. Just other players are playing better. I think maybe just having that true number one corner has opened up the play calling a little bit more. And just should obviously provide a bunch more support. The defensive lines played a lot better. They don't feel like, hey, if we don't get a play here, it's game over anymore. But yeah,
Yeah, I'm
very
feeling a
good
little
call
bit
out.
better about my Panthers loss as well after that one, so people can actually see why we lost so
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah, the Patriots look good. I mean, they're a clear. I mean, they've proved that it's a two-horse race in the AFC West or AFC East. So that's all you can really ask for at this stage of the season. Chuck, you want to touch on your Panthers?
Yeah, yeah, I definitely will. I mean, heck of a win. This was also my sweatiest bet.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. But had Panthers money line and they were down, 17-0 one point in this game. Obviously came back. The takeaway from this game is actually not the play. It's the fact that we had the Hornets announcer take over. He was on Red Zone, so a lot of people, like millions of people, obviously heard him. But
Yeah.
for those who have seen a few Hornets games, everyone knows how crazy this guy is. He's a great commentator. He's
Yeah.
just like
He brings it.
everywhere.
He's funny. He's funny.
Um, yeah, to the point where I think a few Miami fans were like, "Wait, is this guy like a Panthers fan? What's going on here?" So
Yeah.
that was fun to see. Bryce absolutely domed a line judge and then started laughing about it. So that was a funny clip. But in all seriousness, Rico Dowdle, uh, next man up, had like obviously an insane game, 206 rushing yards
206.
or something
Yeah.
crazy like that. Yeah, I think that's like the third most rushing yards in a game by a Panthers running back. Jonathan Stewart holds the mantle. Tet looked great. The defense came through, but Panthers, I just know our place. I know where we're gonna finish. It's gonna be like a 7-10 if we're lucky, maybe like or just somewhere around there. But I also want to just point out, if you're the Dolphins, how much longer does Mike McDaniel have? I
Yeah.
mean, hit between him. I feel like Billy Napier just got a huge lifeline for our,
I don't know,
but
man. I don't know.
he's got to be right on that hot seat because there's a clip of him going around like just super dejected, walking down the Panthers tunnel. I mean, you're 17-0 up on the Panthers, and you blow that after coming off a good win against the Jets.
Yeah.
It's right back to misery for the Dolphins, where you could have been potentially turning your season around.
Yeah, it's all bad in Miami. The vibes are bad. It Tyreek's also out now for the year. I mean, Jalen Waddle's looked good,
Yep.
so that's good for them. And Devon A. Chain is still a beast, but they just can't. There's pieces there that make me feel like they could be a good team. Bradley Chubb's good. They have a pretty solid front four on the D line. Waddle's obviously good. A. Chain's obviously good. Tua is serviceable if you can. I mean, if you can protect him and get scheme up in the right place. But they're just a bummer of a watch in every way. I don't know. I think, but Charlie, unless Ev, do you have anything on the Dolphins?
The only thing I got to say on the Dolphins is I think it might be a two-horse race for the worst team in the NFL, and they're both in the AFC East.
Yeah, yeah. Although one of them beat the other one head to head, so until
Yeah.
until things change.
Well, once that comes back around.
Yeah, yeah. Chuck, looking at your schedule going up, like the Cowboys have looked good, but then the Jets, Bills, Pack. You've got a tough stretch, but it kind of levels out Saints, Falcons. Like there is a possibility here for 7 wins. I think. I don't think the Panthers are bad. I just don't think they're ready yet. I think this is the big year before the year kind of vibes.
Oh yeah, most definitely. They've got some players, but
Yeah,
the defense is a long way from making it
yeah,
a team that can compete.
yeah. But it was good to see Carolina legend Rico Dowdle get out there and run for some yards.
Yeah,
He won me a
Next
fantasy
man
game.
up.
Won me a fantasy
Yeah.
game. So
I told somebody in
Yep.
the office to start him this week, and I believe they listened. I'm not sure, though. I didn't check.
well, Food, give us your Colts. And big win for the boys across the board. With that survivor pick win. Really,
Yeah,
never a doubt. But
a
I'll let you dive into that one.
no doubter. This is a complete win. I mean, from Gino threw 2 picks. There were 6 receivers, including Anthony Richardson, that caught balls. Anthony Richardson's first pass of the year was a completion to himself, which was good. 9-yard completion too. It was a big play. So he threw himself a 9-yard completion. But yeah, we had 6 different guys catch the ball. Amir Abdullah got in the end zone against his former team. Jonathan Taylor continues to just be a monster. 3 touchdowns. Laiatu Latu, the much maligned pick by me last year. I still think we could have taken Jared Verse there. I still would have rather taken Quinshon Judkins there, but or not Quinyon Mitchell, excuse me. But regardless, he got a second pick on the year. Defense is looking good. The corners look like they're ready to go. We got a couple injuries we want to clean up. Ashton Doolin is a guy that has been on the Colts for a number of years, kind of in a similar vein, Evan, to the guy that was always on the Patriots special teams. I can't remember his name now. Slater? Matthew Slater?
Matthew Slater.
Yeah.
Who's since been race with Brendan Schooler.
Yes, yeah. So this guy's similar, in that similar ilk. He's been around the team for a long time. Special teams monster, like 4th to 5th receiver typically, but Adonai Mitchell kind of taking his spot. Ashton Doolin got more reps this week, obviously, with what happened with Adonai Mitchell last week. He showed out in a big way. 2 catches, 55 yards. Led the team in receiving yards. I have a fun stat about Ashton Doolin that I wanted to share. He is the only NFL player, only player from this school to ever play in the NFL, Monroe College. The reason that's a fun fact is because Monroe College closed down a couple years ago, so he's the first and only Monroe College alumni to ever play in the NFL, and he's just been
cool.
a consummate pro, guy who does it. I think the messaging was pretty clear from the coaching staff that, like, giving him Mitchell's targets, like, this is a guy who got here on pure hard work, undrafted, just busting his ass and doing the right things, and now he's getting your spots because you kind of lost your composure. So I think the messaging is good. I still think Mitchell's going to be fine going forward this year. But they did what they said, or they did what they needed to do against a team that wasn't very good. I continue to be proven wrong with my Daniel Jones and Steichen slander from the offseason, and I'll wear that. I was thinking about it. It's kind of funny, like when you're really pissed off at a move your team has done. Like, in a way, you have to root for yourself to be dumb and be wrong, because otherwise you're just rooting for the downfall of your own team. So, like, that's been a weird experience, as I've just rooted for myself to be horribly, horribly wrong and know nothing for what I said in the offseason. But all in all, obviously awesome win. You have the Cardinals coming down like a beat dog after losing to the Titans. So you just got to try to go 5-1 before you go on this next road stretch. But yeah, everything's good in Indy right now. I can't complain about anything.
I think I saw Anthony Richardson throw the ball, like it popped up in the air. He caught it for his own first down, and Daniel Jones was just on the sideline laughing. So it's just funny to see how that dynamic has worked out from refugee Daniel Jones now leading this Colts team.
The vibes are high in Indy. So I'm pretty sure Daniel Jones is on a 1-year deal. If he continues to play like this, obviously the Colts are going to sign him. They have to sign him to a longer deal. At what point then, like, I think some of the thought was Daniel Jones obviously can be either the backup or he can start and then Anthony can come in and replace him at some point in the season. At this rate, I don't see that happening. Daniel Jones has built up enough good credit with how he's played. At some point in the offseason, this coming offseason, they're going to have that conversations about trading Richardson to see if they can recoup anything. Which will suck because I do really still like
he's
Anthony
a third
Richardson.
round or third pick, right?
Fourth pick, yeah. But we'll see.
Pick, yeah.
Tyler Warren also got his first receiving touchdown, which was big. But yeah, everything's good. Colts lane. I'll just kick off best team because nothing's changed for me here. I don't know if anything's changed for y'all. And it's the Lions. The Lions they continue to cover spreads. They continue to just be enough. there's just not really much more to say. The Lions are so fun to watch. They're awesome.
And worst team?
Is everyone Lions again this week?
So actually, I do have a switch on mine
Okay.
because I had the Bills. I had the Bills last week.
Right.
And listen, when the best team loses, the team that beat them has to be the best team, right? So it's the Patriots, obviously.
Whatever, dude. Whatever.
No, I'm just kidding. I am probably going to join the train. I think it's pretty obvious it's the Lions.
Yeah, the D train is
really, really good football team. The Packers are frauds. I'm going to go ahead and just say that in the Week 1 performance. I don't think the Packers. I still think they're frauds, but yeah,
the Blue
I got
Jays.
Lions, and then I'm sticking with the Jets.
Blue Jays just hit a 2-run jack in the top of the first.
Fuck the Yankees.
Poor boy. Yeah, worst team is also the Jets. Charlie, I'm assuming you're sticking with the Lions as well.
I'm sticking with my same setup,
Yeah.
same reasons you guys said, and that Ravens Super Bowl pick is looking worse and worse as the weeks go by. I gotta say, I know they're banged up, but
Yeah.
man,
Yeah.
wouldn't have thought that they'd be sitting at 1-4.
Boring show today because that's my worst takes so far as well.
I hate to say it, my team that I thought was gonna come around. The Chargers are starting to give me a little bit of concern. On that take. I'm not quite ready to declare it was a wrong take, but I'm definitely a little worried about it.
The thing with the Chargers, the thing with the Chargers is it's the same reason I was out on them in the preseason. It's the line. Joe Alt got hurt. Rashawn Slater obviously has not played this season, won't play this season. Like that team, and then Omar and Hampton. Like it's just that they get all chargered up.
Yeah, I mean it's just, and then Justin Herbert seems uncomfortable now a little bit, but I'm not completely sold on it yet. I think it's just something to keep your eye on as we go forward. And like you said, the injuries that kills you. I mean that just kills you.
Yeah. It was a hot start the Chargers got off to this season as well. So I think they had to regress at some point. The Commanders were actually my second most impressive performance because I felt like they were like that was just a great win for them. But since we're darting around, I feel like we've really got to talk about that Bucks performance. Baker talking shit before the game and then just going tutty for tutty, pulling it out. I mean, I feel like that's got to be like 5 games at this point where they've won within like 3 points or something like that. But
every
Baker
game
just
they've
continues
won has been
to shock me.
Yeah, every game they've won has been like a last-second drive by Baker Mayfield.
Every game, yeah.
We
Bucks
really got to start
deserve
talking about how good he is.
The Bucks do deserve a shout for best team in the NFL right now. Like obviously, I still think I take the Lions, but the Bucks, like no matter who they're playing, it's gonna be an awesome game. Baker's incredible. I do still have them in my NFC Championship game, thank God, because the rest of my setup is looking bad right now. Fortunately, I switched to a new notebook, so I can't even find those notes anywhere, which is good for me.
Boy.
Yeah, I think I've got them somewhere. We'll find them. But yeah, I mean, the Bucks are just a fun team, and Emeka Egbuka continues to be incredible.
I was about to say, I wonder what the odds are on offensive rookie of the year because
they got to probably get pretty close to even, dude.
So that is one thing I do remember from our pre-show. He was my offensive rookie of the year plus 1,700, I think, and it's now down to plus like 120. It's like him and Tyler Warren back and forth. So I either root for my guy or I root for my guy. It's kind of fucked. But like, I love Tyler,
we should
give me the money.
Yeah. At some point, we should take a look through this rookie class, like mid-season, and see how they're all doing.
Yeah, I'm trying to see. Emeka Egbuka was plus 1,600 preseason, and the line is not open anymore right now. Yeah, he's a beast. If we're going back to, since we are jumping around, I wanna touch on one other. Is it just one other? Yeah, one other best performance. And how about Spencer Rattler getting his first NFL win? The Saints defense in a come-up spot. Big day for Gamecocks. But yeah, the Saints defense looked great. This felt like a very clear... I did take the Saints. I think they were plus 105 maybe. So even Vegas was on this one, obviously. It wasn't me being sharp. But the the Saints defense played great. It felt like a come down spot for Jackson Dart. Obviously, big winning his first start of the season against the previously undefeated Chargers team. This was just a fun game. The Saints looked good. Spencer Rattler finally got that win, and it was just a fun one to finally see the Saints get back off the schneid because they were depressing.
They were. It was tough to watch.
Yeah.
And
Rashid Shaheed also is just so awesome.
I gotta say, we'll get into this more on Thursday. I don't love having to play them next weekend. I don't hate it. Like, there's much worse teams to play.
Yeah.
But I don't love it. I kind of feel a little bit better now that you got to win, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I could see it being a little bit of a what are you doing game.
Yeah,
but
I hear that.
Congrats to Spencer Rattler. Congrats to the Saints. We got to talk about the Monday Night Football game last night.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff that was happening in that game was just bonkers.
The Trevor
how
Lawrence
slow that guy
play.
returned a 99-yard kickoff.
The Trevor Lawrence play, where he fell twice and then still ran it in.
Chris Jones just gave up.
No, I don't like.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure I picked the Chiefs as my best bet. I just thought that with Xavier Worthy coming back, that this would just and Jacksonville's looked. I don't know. I just thought that was an obvious Chiefs spot. The Chiefs, I felt like, had control of the game early, obviously, and then they just blew it. The Chiefs, it's almost like what we're seeing in college football. Like the Chiefs, the Ravens, they both fell off. The Bengals are dead to rights. And then Jacksonville, the Colts, they're both 4-1. It's just a weird season already.
Yeah, there were two weird plays in that game. One where Trevor Lawrence reached it over for the goal line and got it pushed out of his hands. Jacksonville didn't score. And then another where Patrick Mahomes was on that very same 1-yard line and obviously threw a 99-yard interception.
What a slow run back. Did you guys watch that run back?
Yeah. It was just a bizarre game.
Jeez.
But I will say, though, there was a moment, beside the fact that Harrison Butker, how do you kick that out of bounds at the most crucial point of the game as well? That's such a boneheaded play.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen that a couple times.
When he did that,
year.
I just knew.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just knew Jacksonville was going to go down the field and score. But that throw that Trevor Lawrence had to Brian Thomas Jr. right towards on the last drive, just fell right beautifully down on his right-hand shoulder. That was okay, can't really talk about Trevor Lawrence's game because that was perfect.
Yeah. Funny nugget. The Sunday night game and the Monday night game, the leading rushers were both quarterbacks. Josh Allen with 53 yards and Patrick Mahomes 60 yards. A little interesting tidbit there. But yeah, the Jaguars and Colts are set up for a really important AFC South defining matchup. Are words that nobody had on their lexicon preseason.
4-1. I would not have thought that.
Yeah.
And then the Texans kind of back from the dead when they were 0-3.
Yeah, 2-3.
Didn't see that coming.
Thought they were kind of done.
I
had the Ravens as my dog of the week. So.
Yeah, I didn't think that they would get blown out like that, though. That was something. That was atrocious. But CJ, could the Texans just be they had a tough start to the year, finding their footing, and the Texans could still be a good team. They still could be a good offense.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying.
It's still early.
They could be proving everyone wrong.
Realistically, and I think Big Cat picked them for his pinky team as well. So that's always going to add some extra voodoo towards the Texans turning it around. Everyone in the AFC South got a win this week. With we talked about bad vibes in Miami and other places, but vibes could not be much lower in Arizona. They've lost all of their games. They've lost on game-ending. I think they started 2-0, and then they lost their last 3 on game-ending kicks.
Yep. And did you see as of an hour ago, their head coach got fined $100K for hitting his player after that fumble?
Oh my God! No, I didn't see that. That's incredible.
When it rains, it pours, baby.
Dude, God, no doubt.
It's got to be a bit of an awkward fine to pay.
Yeah, for real.
Does he pay the player? Or does he pay the NFL?
Dude, the NFL doesn't care that much. The NFL's taking that money.
Yeah,
Right.
no. The NFL just looks for an excuse to take their people's money. They don't give a fuck
Yeah.
about the player.
Yeah.
Well,
Another good performer. The Javonte Williams continues to be awesome as well.
he does.
Uh, do we wanna finish it off with gambling corner and then get out of here on this good Tuesday night?
Yeah, let's get out of here, boys.
Let's do it.
So
I still
do
got
you
some
want?
sunshine out here on the Pacific Northwest.
Oh yeah, nice, nice. Do you wanna look at what our picks were last week, or do you want to get into the categories first?
Let's just get into the categories because I feel like when you say a lot of our picks,
It
Oh
might
yeah,
fuck
yeah.
with my head.
it'll probably line
Okay,
up to what we
gotcha,
say,
gotcha. All right, Chuck. Well then,
or at least mine will.
start us off with your best bets.
Yeah, my best bet was Cowboys. Just never really had a doubt in this game. They got ahead super early. Like you're saying, Javonte Williams was awesome. Dak was awesome. Um, George Pickens was fun to watch. The Jets are just bad. If you ever get a team like the Cowboys at even money again, I recommend ripping them against the Jets. I just don't feel like they're going to win many games. 0
Yeah,
and 5. It's full tank mode now. And I also got to say, the Cowboys are like a Micah Parsons away from being a really good team. It's like
yeah, they
I felt like because their offense is lights out. They've scored like 40 points every
yeah,
single game. They
yeah,
just, I mean, they just give up points to good teams. Their defense just crumbles. Even started to crumble a little bit here to the Jets in the second half. But yeah, the Cowboys, even without CD, look great on offense. So when CD
yeah.
comes back, I can see them just still doing the same thing, getting a lot of points. It's just a matter of they kind of give me last year Bengals vibes, that squad.
Yeah, they've
Yeah,
got
good bet.
24, 40, 31, 40, 37.
Um,
So like yeah, they're scoring a
Evan,
lot of points
Yeah,
in
why don't you go
bunches.
next?
So I got one, and it's like even though Ben, you're cutting out a little bit on me there.
Sorry, go ahead.
I think we lost him for a sec.
Okay, he's back now, I think. Let me dive into my best bet here real quick. I got two of them. The first one being, and it's kind of a joint best bet on this one. It's Texas Tech covering against Houston. But also just picking Texas Tech at the beginning of the year to be a potential play in the college football playoff. That's really aging well right now. And then my other one was UGA. I had that in the parlay this week. I know the final score came down to, they really only won by one, but it's one of those games where even though the final score is a lot closer, I was never worried about the game for a minute watching it. So I am gonna give that one a shout as well. But really being Texas Tech was for sure one of my better bets.
Yeah, UGA was a great cover. Um, I felt like Notre Dame was going to do the same thing this week, but UGA came out to be the one that was the surefire bet. It's a good, it's a good one.
Can y'all hear me again?
Boone, what was your best bet?
Boone, can you hear
Sorry.
us?
Yeah, are we back?
Yep, you're good.
Yeah, we got
Okay.
you.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Sorry. I got I looked up because I was looking at my other screen. I looked up and I had the pinwheel going. I was back to the Cowboys thing. I was just wanted to mention they've scored 20, 40, 31, 40 and 37. So yeah, I mean without CD Lamb for the last couple, it's a good team.
Yeah,
It's a good
well,
offense. Good offense.
it's a firing squad.
No, you're good. He's left-handed.
No, yeah.
Looks. No, we got you, dude. Tyler Warren being left-handed.
Well, we ended up just losing.
All right. Well,
Yeah,
maybe we won't have him for the rest of the show. We'll kind of see what happens with that.
sometimes
Hopefully,
we get technical issues.
yeah. Hopefully he gets back here in a minute. But I think maybe we just go ahead and jump into our worst bet and maybe give Boone a second to run through his
Yeah.
depending where we get. Who
Let's
do
hear
you have
yours.
okay, perfect.
I kick this off.
Yeah, I got Texas and Iowa State. We touched on both games earlier. Just really Texas. Texas is more so the worst one. It was never really had a chance there. Iowa State was also another one that just kind of sucked. It was just not a good bet. Never really got into the game, even though they had a lot of chances to. But yeah, those are my two worst bets. Boone, to give you a quick catch up, glad you're back. I
Sorry
put
guys,
my
I don't
worst
know what's
bets out
going on.
as Texas as well as Iowa State. as being my worst two bets. So,
Gotcha.
Evan, I was right there with you with Texas. They were on my list as worst bet, obviously because I put them in the parlay as well. Felt like they were just going to be a good one, but obviously fell short. My second worst bet then was the Chargers. Felt like this was a spot at home. Commanders hadn't really been impressing me too much, and I felt like the Chargers were, this was a spot where they were just kind of gonna show why they were having a lot of success, and it just did not happen. Commanders came out, beat them handedly. I think the final score was like 27-10 or something like that. And so yeah, Chargers were one of my worst bets. Another one just for sure fire score difference was the Ravens. Really thought
yeah,
this was the time that like, okay, Ravens must win game. The defense is just gonna come through. Texans haven't really been looking that great. Haven't been really super impressed with CJ Stroud, and then he just throws 4 touchdowns. Cooper Rush looked awful. They can't get Lamar back soon enough. And so yeah, that one was another just poor read on my part.
it was in fact not the Cooper Rush game,
No, no.
Yeah,
Cooper
as
Rush.
I think I
fair to
did make
say.
that comment preview show.
Yeah. Cooper Rush. I mean, the Ravens just looked horrible. The defense is just so bad. Um, my,
Yeah.
I'm looking back and I had a great week on the books, but I looked back at my notes and I did not give the people great bets. I could give you any of my, whether it be the Chiefs -3 is my favorite bet or the Browns money line, which had a chance but ultimately failed. I could give you any of those, but my worst bet by far this weekend was looking at my phone after Evan sent Penn State in the group chat because I wasn't watching that game at the time. Didn't think I needed to. And it was 17-0, I think. And I was like, oh, I'm going to get Penn State live here. I got them at -6.5, and I was like, this is the easiest bet of all time. And then I keep watching, and I keep watching. Then it's like the third quarter, and I tune it in. I'm like, all right, what's going on here? And I keep watching. And spoiler alert, they did not cover 6.5. And I just felt like the biggest dickhead in the world for how like there's a no miss bet to me. But yeah, that was the worst bet I made. Thankfully, I did not keep doubling and tripling down like I've been known to do in the past. But
I might have also taken Penn State live, just the money line though, and they still couldn't even pull that off.
yeah,
So
Yeah, I got
brutal
saved. I
stuff.
got saved by my co-betting partner that was sitting next to me. Shout out Ryan Tracy for saying I'm not jumping in on that with you. And I was like, you know what? Maybe that's a sign you don't take it. And I did it.
yeah.
So, well, hey, what was your best win then, Boone, or your sweatiest win? Excuse me.
This one's gonna hurt for some people, but I waited till really late on Saturday to get my Florida State Miami bet in, and I had a 50% boost from FanDuel. Shout out to those guys for giving me a boost there. But I brought that line up to 6.5, and then just boosted it back to even money. So unlike the rest of the Florida State bettors in the world that got the +3.5, that were like, please go for it, score a touchdown, backdoor cover. I was like, please kick it, backdoor cover. So that by far,
Brutal.
me being the heel of all the other Florida State bettors, that was by far my sweatiest win because I had that in a lot more places than I'm willing to divulge. I had a lot more on that than I thought I did.
I for whatever reason did not end up putting a ton of money on that game. I was so high on it, and it just Saturday kind of got away from me, and I wasn't making a lot of bets throughout the day.
Yeah.
And I think that saved me. Like I loaded up hard in the morning, but I did not. Usually, as the day goes on, I'll progressively bet more, and I just didn't for whatever reason. So that saved me in that game. Rough loss, but not a horrible loss for me by any means.
Yeah, I unloaded on FSU +4. Really thought it was gonna come through for us at the end there. Not gonna lie. Thought it was gonna be one of the best backdoor covers of all time,
Yeah.
but it didn't. But we move.
We always move. That's all you can do.
I touched on my sweaty swing a little bit earlier, but it was just the Broncos. A game I thought was dead in the water. I thought I was so fucked. And, when you just get to look down at your phone, the game you chose to stop following, and then you like, wait, I won that bet. That's one of the best feelings in the world.
Yeah.
Maybe shame on me for turning it off. Maybe I'm the reason they won. Maybe that's the reason they won. I stopped watching. I'm a believer in superstitions like that. So, Broncos fans, if you want to call in and give me some thanks, I would appreciate it.
This is that's kind of how I felt about Washington in a way. Like I just thought that game was over, so I stopped watching, and then I tuned it back in, and they were like going to tie or going to cover or something. Yeah, Chuck, what about you?
The best feeling. I touched on mine as well, but it was
Oh,
Panthers over Miami. This
yeah,
this was not one that I had turned off and kind of
yeah,
hoped and prayed that it would come
yeah,
back. I watched this thing all the way through. It was just a ridiculous performance, but it doesn't really get any sweatier than a game-winning touchdown.
yeah.
So that's why it's got to be that award for me.
And here, I'll touch on my worst loss here, because it really didn't feel that bad. I know it cost the parlay, but hand up, Stefan Diggs had such a good game, and he was so close so many times. Like, it's a bet I can live with losing a little bit. One, because we won, but two, like, he really should have fucking got in like
Yeah.
3 times. Like, it was just brutal. It was fucking brutal. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think I had the wrong read on the bet.
No,
I just think
no.
like I said, just got unlucky.
A ball
Like,
bounced
it's
the
just
wrong
one of
way
those
for
things.
us that day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like that just wasn't it.
yeah,
But I can live with losing a bet like that where you don't feel horrible about it. It
yeah,
just sucks so much in the moment.
yeah. The while you're there, the NFL parlay falls to 1-4. College falls to 0-3. We've got to pick it up. The NFL parlay is if we lose next week, it'll officially be unprofitable so far in the year. It's still right now. Right now, you're still, if you've taken it every week. Right now, you're still in the profit. This week we deserved it,
I'm
but
sensing a big turn.
yeah, yeah. I don't know if I should get off the props or if I should stay on the props. I'm not sure. But Chuck, what was your worst loss?
Worst loss, I'm actually gonna go with. I said a lot about the Rams and how much that one hurt, but last night I had the Chiefs, and I just felt like they did everything they could to lose that game between the
Yeah.
flags and Patrick Mahomes throwing a 99-yard interception. I mean, we talked about it quite enough, but just felt like there was even a point where the Chiefs were up like 14-0, and they were just begging, the Jags were just begging them to kind of run away with it, right, put it to bed. And, they score. You think, oh, the Chiefs get the ball at half. They just couldn't really get anything going. And Trevor Lawrence just fought his way back into that game and somehow won it. But that one was, if I had a lot of money on Chiefs money line, I would have been pissed because
Yeah, yeah,
they should have won that game, honestly.
yeah.
Then wrap us up.
So my worst losses is a collection of 4 losses. Like I mentioned, I had a pretty solid week on the book, so I won't complain about a good weekend. But these 4 specific parlays really could have taken me from a great week to a phenomenal week. Always bet within your units, obviously, but my units are $25, so this would have been a catastrophic, or not a catastrophic. This would have been an incredible win. But between those 4 parlays, there was 1 4-legger, 1 5-legger, and 2 6-leggers, and each one of them got down to the very last leg, as per usual. 2 of them had Amon-Ra, and 5 different people scored in that game. None of them were Amon-Ra. One of them had Stefan Diggs, so I guess there's a 3-legger in there. So one of them had Stefan Diggs, and one of them had James Cook. And these would have been roughly 50 all-in dollars to win 1250. So that was, I mean, I can live with the Stefan Diggs one. That was plus 250. But Amon-Ra, even money. James Cook for the 6-legger, minus 230. Just brutal, brutal, brutal losses there. I'm just watching the Patriots-Bills game, just like James Cook or Diggs score, don't care who, and we walk out of this weekend happy. And I couldn't get either. So yeah, just catastrophic parlay, ball dropping. The Lions had 5 players score a touchdown, and none of them were their best receiver.
I feel like Amon always
Stefan
gets in there
Diggs
too.
had 10 catches for 146 yards, but none of them found the end zone. It's just like, they were, again, like you said, Ev, they were right reads, but just like brutal, brutal finishes. At one point, David Montgomery was in 2 of those as well, and at one point he had a passing touchdown, but not a rushing touchdown. So I was like, I swear to God, this is brutal. But yeah, parlay sadness was my worst loss of the week.
Well, let's dive into the group's bets for the week. I think that might be a good segue for us. Of course, 0-2 on the parlays this week, but
Yeah.
give us our picks and who had what, just so everyone remembers.
So there's been a shakeup in the leaderboard, a dramatic shakeup. So I'll start with Evan. Your NFL picks: Cowboys -2.5, Ravens +2.5. So you got 1 point there. Your college picks: Kansas -4.5, FSU +3.5. So another 1 point. So you got 2 points. You're sitting at 4 on the season since we just started last week. Chuck, you had Cowboys -2 as well. I believe -2.5 as well, if I'm not mistaken. And Browns +3.5. You or no, excuse me, Broncos +3.5. Broncos +3.5. So you won both.
Okay.
Yeah, you won both of those. And you also in college had Clemson -14 and UVA +6.5. So you swept the week. You are now in first place with 5 points. And that means bringing up the rear. I had a bad showing for the picks I gave the people. Apologies to the people. I had Chiefs -3.5 loss. Browns money line loss. Illinois -9. That one did end up winning, and then Mississippi State +17. I let the people down, so I'm now in third place with 3 points.
Should have just followed my picks last week. Just those four.
Yeah.
Not done anything else.
I do as we wrap up here tonight. Good show, obviously. Always. What's up, Ev?
What was the parlay picks? I know
So for college football,
Charlie had Texas.
we inversed it again. You missed NFL, Charlie and I hit. You hit college, Charlie and I both missed. But it was
Okay.
I can't remember who you had, but Charlie had Texas and I had
I just wasn't sure if either of you guys hit on college too.
No,
I wasn't sure if we were one away on college.
I had
as well.
Jeremiah Love.
I knew we were
two
one
I
away
had
on
touchdowns.
NFL.
Texas in that one.
Yeah. But
Okay.
to wrap us up here, we gotta do better for the people. And in the spirit of doing better, I have some news on our survivor pool. This is a good spot for us to close up. I got an email.
Perfect.
I got an email from the commissioner. Let's go ahead and take a look real quick while I'm talking. Let's get an idea of how many people are still left in this pool. Again, this is for like $850,000. I get an email from the commissioner. He's a big Jeopardy fan, apparently. And he just emails the entire squad and says, "Congrats on making it this far. Welcome to the first Double Jeopardy week." So we have to make 2 picks this week.
Oh,
All right.
let's go.
Yeah.
And they both have to
They
win?
both have to win for you to move on.
All right.
Question, and we still only get one team per week, right? Or no, one pick of a team per year.
Yes. So this is
Yeah, so we can't use teams we've already
Yeah.
used.
So this
I just want to make sure we weren't.
this changes things dramatically. So we each have to make 2 picks, or everybody has to make 2 picks this week. Out of the 36,501 that started, we are down to 8,857.
Oh,
So
that's actually
there
a big
was
change
a
from
lot,
last.
A lot of people had the Bills.
There's 24,000. Yeah.
I'm looking now.
Yeah, a lot of people had
A
the Bills.
lot of people had the Rams too. Thank you, Evan. A lot of people had the Bills, the Rams.
Yep.
A lot of people had the Giants to beat the Saints. A
Alright.
lot of people thought they were sneaking the Giants pick early against the Saints. And then there's a good bit of people that
Yeah.
had Arizona as well, trying to sneak one on the Titans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, we'll tune in Thursday for 2 of the most important picks,
Yeah.
if not the most important picks this show has ever
They're
seen.
the most important picks until the next picks.
8,000. We get 2. I bet that knocks out.
I bet that knocks out
half the people.
30
I
to
bet
40% at least. 2 picks is
Yeah.
tough.
All right.
2 picks is
I like
tough.
those odds.
2 picks is tough.
I've already got a couple in mind. Just so everyone knows. But that's
Yeah.
okay.
All right. Well, I mean that's
Set 'em up.
that's the show. We'll get back with y'all on Thursday. Come out Friday morning, obviously, where you'll find out who our 2 survivor picks are this week. But y'all got anything else? We got a bunch of sports coming around the corner too.
I'm good for now. Thanks, boys, on the great show, and see everybody on Thursday.
See you.
Good stuff, lads. Bye.